Come on, Riley. Get it together. Come on, Riley. Get it together. I'm not good enough. You have to score, Riley.
Hey, I want you to take a moment to stop and think. What's something that you think about that constantly gives you anxiety? For me, I'm always thinking about my future. Well, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, most people worry about money, health, and family problems. These are real-world things that affect us on a daily basis. I used to struggle with anxiety all the time, and that's until I read this quote. Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it. Now, how does this attain to Inside Out 2? Well, Riley's going to high school and has a new set of emotions. And the new star of the show is anxiety. And now, I'm going to explain to you how Inside Out 2 perfectly depicts it.
Perfect!
Riley! But we need new friends or we'll be totally alone in high school. Out with the old, in with the new.
I think it's kind of funny that all these emotions show up, especially anxiety when high school gets involved. To anyone that's in high school or graduated high school, you know it's a breeding ground for anxiety. Now all of a sudden your popularity matters. And who you hang around and what you wear is now priority for a lot of kids. This is exactly what Riley is going through in the beginning of the movie. While trying to make the hockey team as a freshman, these are some of the decisions that she has to make. It was a sentence that anxiety stated that made me think.
Riley's life requires more sophisticated emotions than all of you. You can't just bottle us up!
We are suppressed emotions!
What is actually a sophisticated emotion? Well, on paper, all emotions are sophisticated. Emotions in animals have existed even before humans. And maybe anxiety does have a point. Like it or not, fear and anxiety has kept humans alive for thousands of years. Fear at one point was probably telling a caveman, maybe you shouldn't attack that 7-foot beast outside your cave. Fear is a key opponent to keeping us safe. If you were to go onto your computer or phone and ask Google, what is the definition of anxiety, it will most likely start with the fear of. You see, anxiety is the feeling of fear, dread, and uneasiness. I'm not sure if you noticed this, but fear has a very strong liking to anxiety in the movie. Since anxiety is the fear of what may happen, the directors decided to design anxiety with similarities to fear. Male emotions in the film have distinct shapes, and they wanted the same for the female characters. Fear's vertical design contrasted with anxiety's horizontal design, also featuring a very broad mouth. Another including feature is anxiety's eyes. Did you know the character's eyes were inspired by Hawke's? This is basically depicting constant scannings for potential problems. If everyone could live in a world where they were feeling joy 24/7, I think they would. But sadly, we know this is not the reality. And this was also the premise of the first movie, learning that each emotion has its own right to exist. I think the difference between sadness and anxiety is very simple. While sadness creeps up on you, anxiety is very abrasive and aggressive from the start.
I'm a huge fan of yours. Meeting you face to face. Okay, how can I help? I can take notes, get coffee, manage your calendar, walk your dog, carry your things, watch you sleep. Wow, you have a lot of energy. Maybe you could just stay in one place. Anything. Just call my name and I'm here for you.
From the jump, she's mad abrasive and is willing to take charge, even when not asked to make Riley make a decision on something that could possibly happen. But she isn't able to take full control because of Riley's sense of self. I like that this was introduced into the movie, because your sense of self is basically your backbone, or your moral compass, if you will. Some people establish their sense of self at a young age and don't change, while others are forever changing and maturing. This scares anxiety because she fears what people may view you as rather than how do you actually view yourself. In result, anxiety does this.
Oh, you're so right, Joy. No, you can't have that. Put that back. Joy, I don't know this, but it has to be done.
Demonstrating that Riley lost her sense of self, what does this mean? This could lead to really good or bad implications depending on your scenario. If you were someone that spent your whole life doing crimes and atrocities, maybe when you get free, it was a good thing that you lose your sense of self. But if you're an average person that's out here trying your best and isn't trying to cause any problems, I don't think you really need to change your sense of self. But you also can't go wrong with improving. When you lose your sense of self, it's way easier for you to fall into peer pressure and act like somebody you're not. We see this with a prime example of Riley. When Riley first gained her sense of self, it was helping out doing something very honorable.
It's okay. I drop things all the time. I'm Riley. I'm Grace. I'm Bree.
Versus when she loses it, we see her go through an actual identity crisis. It starts small by dyeing your hair just to fit in.
Okay, it's giving jealousy. I'm sorry.
You wouldn't know cool if you hit them in the face.
Hey, Michigan? Oh, rocking the red, huh?
All of that just for a little self-appraisal. Then it takes a very dark turn to lying and backstabbing your friends.
But I mean, you don't still like Get Up and Glow, do you? Okay, don't panic. What do we do? If we don't like their music, we have nothing to offer these girls. How did that be impossible?
Pardon, excusez-moi. I've been waiting my whole life for this very moment.
Oh yeah, I love Get Up and Glow. Oh yeah, we had a great time. Come on. Oh man, I'm not good enough. You have to score.
Anderson, penalty box, 2 minutes.
No! Grace, are you okay? Grace! It all happened so fast, I didn't even see her.
And before we get into the big climax of the movie, I want to talk about something that really makes Anxiety stand out, and it's her character design. I have a quick question for you. You see the color blue, does it make you feel relaxed and reserved? Or does the color red remind you of something romantic? Designers have long believed that colors can affect moods and feelings. Pablo Picasso once stated that colors like features follow the change of emotions. They also show to have a lot of psychological reactions also. It's a reason why some people wear white on weddings and black at funerals. For a lot of characters, their first design isn't their last. And this can be said about Anxiety. Initially, Anxiety was envisioned as a shapeshifter and was supposed to be a deceptive clay-like monster. It will grow when you fight it, but also shrink when you learn how to manage it. I think this initial idea was very clever, but was initially scrapped because it was too complicated. If you know why Anxiety is orange, since her thing is pretty much the fear of the future, she's very cautious. And you know what's also very cautious? Traffic cones. If you take a close look at Anxiety and what she's wearing, you understand that it correlates to her personality. Unlike Sadness' cozy sweater, Anxiety has an itchy wool sweater. This adds to the anxious demeanor. A high collar, stretched out sleeves, hiked up pants, and tight boots, these are all designed to aggravate her. I think these small details really tie everything together.
Come on, Riley, get it together. Come on, Riley, get it together. I'm not good enough. You have to score, Riley, or this will all be for now.
All this added stress of trying to make the team and also trying to fit in leads to an anxiety attack. I think the movie did a really good job displaying this inside and outside of Riley's head. With her sense of self now corrupted, Riley has no idea who she is anymore. The rapid heartbeat and feeling like the walls are closing in really set the scenes of how serious this is for Riley. And on the inside, we see Anxiety turn into a tornado at its purest form. We see the other emotions trying to take the bad sense of self off. It won't budge because Anxiety is still clinging on. This fits that abrasive nature that we were talking about in the beginning. It's not until Joy tells her,
You need to let her go.
when Joy puts the old sense of self back, something seems to be wrong with it. Instead of being how it was in its original state, it's now changing and morphing. Once again, this just shows you how a sense of self is forever changing the more experiences we go through. This was just a sign of Riley's consciousness just getting more mature. In the end, Riley admits to being a jerk and asks her friends for forgiveness. Later on the emotion side, anxiety is still there and around. As anxiety is an emotion that doesn't really leave us. She's still scared about potential threats and things that may happen. But with the help of Joy, she's able to be managed. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed this movie and I really think Anxiety's depiction was perfect. And before you go, I want to leave you with another quote. If you want to conquer the anxiety of life, live in the moment. But hey everyone, thank you for watching Media Munchies and I hope you enjoyed. Peace.